Wir befinden uns hier im Dialog im Dunkeln in Hamburg, eine Ausstellung, in der es nichts zu sehen gibt, denn blinde Menschen zeigen hier den sehenden Besuchern, wie es sein kann, wenn man Alltagssituationen aus der Sicht eines Blinden erlebt. Doch wir wollen uns gar nicht über die Ausstellung unterhalten, denn es findet hier zurzeit das internationale Meeting statt, wo Mitarbeiter von Dialog im Dunkeln, eine Ausstellung, die es nicht nur in Hamburg gibt, sondern weltweit, sich treffen zu einem kleinen Austausch. Und dies nahmen wir uns zum Anlass, um uns einmal mit anderen blinden Menschen aus anderen Nationen zu unterhalten. Wie ist die Situation blinder Menschen zum Beispiel in Malaysia? And so I welcome Lisa here to the interview. Yeah, would you first please introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay, my name is Lisa. I'm from Malaysia. I'm totally blind, means that I cannot see any light at all. I've been blind for 4.5 years due to eye disease called glaucoma. So that's basically about myself.
Okay, so you lose your sight 4 years ago.
Yes.
And how did your parents or your family deal with your blindness 4 years ago?
Well, at first it was kind of a shock because my blindness came all of a sudden. It was a sudden thing because I got diabetes and. Well, to tell the truth, my family, I mean, including myself, we do not know how to deal with it actually. We were quite in the dark, so to say. But, you know, I mean, we learn as we go on. I believe this is a journey. For example, we learn how to deal with our emotions. Step by step, learning to accept it. My family learned to accept my situation. Learn to, adapt to my condition and how I need to relearn everything. So this was very new to all of us because, like my family, even I myself, we didn't know. They didn't know how, at first, they didn't know how to teach me certain things, you know, how to explain to me. But as time goes by, they understand, in a way they slowly begin to understand how I think, my perspective as a blind person. Then we learn from there on, step by step.
Mm-hmm. What we want to know is a little bit more about the daily life of a blind person in Malaysia. And one part of the daily life is for sure the technical ads. So how does the supply of technical ads for the blind or visually impaired look like in your country?
Sorry, what do you mean by technical?
Technical ads like white canes, screen reading programs, braille displays, and everything you need, I think.
Okay. Well, actually, basically in Malaysia nowadays, is technology help us a lot. For one thing, I mean, a lot of people is using smartphones nowadays, you know, and even if you don't have a smartphone, we have these phones that we can able to install the voiceover. We can use it. Computers. Okay, this is the biggest change. We can able to install a program called JAWS program. A lot of people is using that. It's also a voiceover. It helps us a lot. Of course, white cane is it's sold in a particular place in Malaysia. all blind people knows where to get it, and especially there's a blind association in Malaysia there to help all those who are blind to get what they need. For example, like the brailler, and as well as like all those embossing equipment and all that.
Are there any subsidies for the blind and for the visually impaired, and concerning also the technical ads?
Well, if you apply for it, for example, like the brailler, you can get it for free. You apply to the government. The social welfare department, they'll give you for free. And then actually the Blind Association in Malaysia also, together with the social welfare department, you can actually apply to the social welfare department then, and then.
So you're talking about that you can, if you apply for things, you can have it for free.
Certain things, those necessary things, like the brailler for us, and then if we are able to apply, we can able to get free training in the blind center there. There's also a rehab center for those people like me who are adult blind. In this training center, they teach us, in the rehabilitation center, they teach us how to use the white cane, they teach us braille, and all these basic daily living skills for them. So we can get all this training for free over there.
Okay, so you have something which is similar to our mobility training here in Germany, where a special trainer shows you how to use the white cane and the main path, I think, like the way to the supermarket or something like that.
Yes.
Okay. How do sighted people in your home country treat blind people? I mean, are they rather helpful or easygoing, or rather reserved, or do they even behave in an, let's see, unfriendly manner?
Well, actually, in Malaysia, I can say that seriously, everyone is very friendly. You know, every time when I go to work, most of the time I use the public transport. Let's say the subway. So there's bound to be people helping me. There'll be people, asking me, do I need help? Where do I want to go? Even in a taxi stand, they will give me, okay, you go first, miss, excuse me, and you, ma'am, you can go first, I think overall, they are very friendly people. Especially when I'm alone walking, a blind person alone walking there, they're always, there's bound to be people approaching me to lend a hand, to assist me.
That sounds great. So do you think that the visually impaired or blind in your home country are well integrated into society, or are there situations in which you feel more restricted?
Okay, talk about integration. Well, for me, I still feel that blind people, they tend to stick with one another. They socialize among themselves. Most of the time, I'm not saying everyone is like that, but I'm saying most of them are like that. However, in talking about those sighted people, I mean, it depends on what type of, which area you're talking about. If it's like in the working area, working field, there's not much integration there. But if you're talking about socially, as I said, there is, but it's not that obvious, I think, sometimes. Because I still feel that blind people, they stick to their own groups. They have their own circle of friends, so to say.
Because of less integration to the society?
Well, because for me, I feel that even though just now I said generally people are friendly, they're kind towards us, people too tend to have a little bit of ignorance about us, the blind society. Sometimes, for example, they want to help, but the way they help us is wrong approach. For example, let's say, for example, I'm walking along the street and then suddenly a person wants to help me. They did not voice out, they just come approach me and then just grab my white cane and then walk. Which for me, for blind people, white cane is very important. Then suddenly a person like grab your white cane and then, okay, come, follow me. It's a wrong approach. So I think that they're kind of ignorant about the blind community in total.
So last question for today. What would you wish for the future of your country regarding integration or inclusion? Is there anything that should change?
For me, I would love this to see in education-wise. I still feel that a lot of people, young people, they are blind. They don't have much opportunity to further their studies, especially in universities. You'll be surprised that some of them, they can able to study until A levels, but then that's it. When they try to apply for university, only a few, very few of them can able to enter universities, and most of them will just go to the blind center and learn, well, things like massage, learn, all this call center operating skills. But for me, I still feel that blind people, if they are given the opportunity, they can do more things than just being a masseuse, even in the working area. I feel that if given the opportunity, they can able to be integrated in the working area, in private sector and also in the government sector. That would be great, because I can see that a lot of blind people, not only that they are talented, but most of them are very skillful as well. So I mean that they're the same like anybody else, isn't it? The only difference is they can't see, and that's about it. But if you talk about if they're given the opportunity for education, there are people who holds degree holders, master degrees, that are blind, but they seldom have the same opportunity to get a position in a company as other sighted people.
Okay, thank you very much. Das war Lisa aus Malaysia und wer dieses Interview noch einmal auf Deutsch nachlesen will, in Kürze findet ihr alle unsere Interviews, die wir hier geführt haben, entweder auf blindlife.de oder auf christian-ohrens.de in unseren Blogs.